Good evening. For my last discussion board post, I'm going to speak to you about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement. I'm choosing to speak about Dr. King because I feel like he's one of the most influential people of our time. He was able to affect lasting change through passive, nonviolent resistance. And I think that is very well worth noting. He was shaped by his upbringing because he was the son of a pastor. His father was the pastor of a well-known black church in Atlanta, and he was raised to love and respect and care for the people that didn't necessarily love and respect and care for him. Even though his father was a man who approached the issue of segregation and racism head on, his father was a very firm man, and he was very strict and candid and was willing to do all that he could do within his time to resist racism. Martin Luther King Jr.'s parents, told him that as a Christian, he had to love people, even those that would have chosen to oppress him. His life was shaped by events early on that led him to believe that that was going to be his life's work, was to do what he could do to rid the world of racism and segregation. As a youth, he developed his oratory skills and became a good, or great, should I say great, public speaker. And he was coming from a oratory contest and boarded the bus, and he and his classmates sat down, took their seats on their way back home, and then there was another group of white students who boarded the bus, and he and his classmates were told to get up out of their seats and give those seats to the white students, and he ended up having to stand on board the bus for 90 minutes on his trip back. He had a similar experience when he went to the local movie theater and was told that he would have to enter through the back door. And when he got to the section that was designated for blacks, it was so filthy that he was so consumed by the filth that he couldn't even enjoy the movie at the movie theater. And so he never returned there again. But these events helped to shape who he was and his decision to be the leader of the Civil Rights Movement. And he was kind of thrust into it when he went to Montgomery, Alabama at the time, and to take on, being the pastor of a church at that time. And the Montgomery bus boycott was put into motion, which would be very, very effective. And in any event, when you read his speeches, when you listen to his speeches, when you hear all the things that he had to endure, you can't help but be moved, spiritually be moved. I'm not saying that he was a perfect individual, but I am saying that I feel like God used him for a purpose to do the things that had to be done so that not just African Americans, but Native Americans, all people of color, anybody that was discriminated against, the physically handicapped, people like me who are physically challenged, could be treated as equals in our society. I hope that you have enjoyed my presentation, and I hope that you will enjoy my upcoming research project paper on this same topic. I've enjoyed working and interacting with all of you, and I hope you have a blessed evening.